Hello everybody, this video is my challenge to anybody who claims that evolution as a concept is unscientific. If you have scientific evidence against evolution, or if you have a philosophical argument against it that actually holds water, then I welcome that. I'd love to hear it or see it, and this challenge, this video, is not aimed at you. This video is aimed purely at people who claim that evolution as a concept is unscientific. Now, brief introduction. Science is usually carried out by very hard-working, very intelligent people. Usually, not always, but usually. There's a reason for this. Science is hard. It's extremely difficult to manipulate abstract concepts in your mind and apply them to real-world data. It's a very hard thing to do. Our brains were not built for this, and it's not built into our genetic structure or our cognitive framework. It's something that takes a lot of effort and a lot of time and patience. And there's a very good psychological demonstration of this problem that we have with pure logical thought. I won't tell you what it's called, because I don't want you to just go and quickly Google the answers. I want you to do this video, pause it at a certain point, and see if you can actually get the challenge right. Okay, what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to show you 4 cards, and there's going to be a rule that describes these 4 cards. They're going to have one thing on one side, one thing on another, and the rule is going to describe what each card should have on the side that you cannot see. What I want you to do is to falsify the rule. I want you to prove that the rule I give you is not correct, and I want you to do it in the most minimalistic way possible. I want you to, in your mind, turn over as few cards as are necessary to prove the rule I'm going to give you wrong. Okay, here we go. Here's the cards. So you can see there we have a Jack of Clubs, we have a red card, we have an Ace of Clubs, and we have a blue card. And the rule I'm going to give you is that if a card is blue, it has an ace on the other side. And I want you to turn over as few cards as possible to prove that rule wrong, to falsify that rule. Okay, so we have the Jack of Clubs, a red card, Ace of Clubs, and a blue card. Okay, again, the rule is that if a card is blue on one side, it has an ace on the other side. I'd like you to take a second, pause this video, and come up with your answer. And then when you unpause it, I'll have the answer for you. Okay, I hope you've all thought about it and come up with your answer. Now again, the rule is that if the card is blue on one side, it has an ace on the other. Now, what is the least number of cards I need to turn over in order to falsify that rule? Okay, now this card is blue. And the rule is, if a card is blue, it has an ace on the other. So if I turn this one over and it doesn't have an ace on the other side, the rule is falsified. So I have to turn this one over. Ace of Spades, the rule is not falsified in this case. Ace of Clubs, do I have to turn this one over? Well, no. Because if I turn it over and the card is blue, the rule is not falsified. If I turn it over and the card is red, the rule is also not falsified, because the rule doesn't say anything about whether red cards can have aces on them or not. Let's turn it over anyway. It's red, but the rule is not falsified, so you do not need to turn this one over. This one you do, this one you don't. Now this card is red. Again, the rule says nothing about what must be on the other side of a red card, so I can turn it over, but it doesn't falsify the rule. So this one remains down here in this category of cards that we do not need to turn over. This Jack of Clubs, if the card is blue on the other side, that would falsify the rule, so we have to turn it over to find out. It's blue. The rule is falsified. So to sum up, you would have needed to turn over this card and this card to falsify the rule. You would not have needed to turn over the other 2. You could have ignored them completely. These are the only 2 you needed to pay any attention to. If you got that right, well done, because statistically about 60–70% of people get that right without having done some sort of psychological training or experience of this kind of test before. It's a pure logical reasoning experiment or reasoning task. And if you got it right, well done. Now, if you're an anti-evolutionist or someone who believes that evolution is unscientific and you got it wrong, what you have to ask yourself is your understanding of what constitutes the falsifiability of a theory correct? Is your understanding of logical process correct? Can you still claim that you know that evolution is unscientific?